Today we are talking about the head in the backswing, and I've got a really effective drill which can help you keep your head still or steady as you swing the club back. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden, the 14th hole, where we're talking about the head position and a really good drill that you can do to help you move your body better, to help you keep that head nice and still. Just before we get started, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, then I would absolutely love you to join our community. There is a clickable link in the description box below. And when you do click that link, also hit the little bell icon, and that means you'll get notified when a video goes live and you won't miss it. So in this particular video, you're going to learn about rotation. You're going to learn about forward bend and extension. You're also going to learn about side bend, and you're going to learn how the three of those things have to blend together in order for you to keep your head steady. Now notice I use the word steady, and that's personally the word I would like to use for the head, because it doesn't and it shouldn't stay still in the golf swing. There's going to be some rotation, and as we move in the golf club around our body at high speed, there's bound to be some amount of movement. But steady would be a great word, because we'd like to keep it in about the same position as it was at setup, provided it's correctly at setup. So let's look at the body, the upper body, and discuss the three movements that that are available to us. We have the option to rotate our body. I think we're all fairly comfortable with that. We have the ability to move our body into what we call forward bend and back up towards what we call extension. And we also have the ability to bend to our side. So this would be side bend. Now, unfortunately, when we move the golf club away from the ball and our body moves, we are changing and controlling all of those three things. So in the early part of the golf swing, we are rotating, we're changing the amount of forward bend we have, and we're changing the amount of side bend we have. It's quite a complex movement, and it's no surprise when you really understand the movement itself why so many golfers actually struggle with some head movement. This is a fantastic drill, and unfortunately I can't take credit for this. I saw this actually on Instagram, gave it a go myself, and thought it was just a fantastic way to better understand how the body should move. So you're going to take your normal starting position to a golf ball, and you'll notice that I've placed another golf ball which is probably around only about 4 inches just outside my right foot, and probably more towards where the laces end or where my toes start. So just to the right of my foot, just about the start of my toes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my posture, and I'm going to put my arms out, and I'm going to just put that stick onto the ground in here. Now watch what would happen if I tried to move the stick directly along the ground towards the camera that's behind me. Well, if I do that and I keep that stick on the ground, what do you notice is happening in my head? Well, it's gone probably down towards the ground and it's moved off the golf ball. This would be a pretty common movement for a lot of golfers. What about if, as I moved into my backswing, the stick came very quickly off the ground? Well, if it came off the ground, then that would be me moving too quickly towards what we call extension. So I'm starting to lose my forward bend far too quickly. So the little exercise here is to take this stick, or a golf club if you've got a golf, or place it on the ground in front of you and move it along the ground in this arced fashion towards this golf ball to the right of my foot. And what you'll notice when I do that is I'm able to start to rotate my body in a pretty good fashion. So I've started to get movement through my hips, I've started to get movement through my chest, but I'm starting to control those three things that we have to control. I have lost some amount of my forward bend, I've added some amount of rotation, and I've started to what we call side bend to my left. Now you don't see those things in their purity because they're happening all in one motion. That's why it's quite a complex movement to get a head around. But that's a really good exercise to get you a really good feeling of what that first movement should be like. So I'll show you that one again. So take my starting position in posture, arms out in front, and I'm just going to move that stick gradually on an arc around towards this golf ball. Now from here, if I was to place the golf club in, you can see how that would give me a really nice start to my golf swing, where I've got some rotation, I've got some side bend, and I've started to lose some of that forward bend. Now obviously from here there's a continuation up to the top, and we still need to make some good moves there. But if you're a little bit unsure about how to move the body, if your head's going up, your head's going towards the target, away from the target, you're losing height, whatever that movement might be, that's a great way to really start to better understand you know, okay, that's what it should feel like. That's how my body should move in that early part of the goal swing. Now, that little drill there really does only target the first part of the goal swing, but very often when we do see head movement that's incorrect or unwanted, it tends to be fairly early in the goal swing. You know, we see that kind of all too often. The golf club's only moved 3 or 4 feet and the head's already moving out of position. It's a bit of a recovery process. So a few little rehearsals with that stick, or say you could just turn the golf club around this way, starting to just get a better understanding of how that body should move, and then you can start to work that into a goal swing. Notice how when I get to the top, my head will have rotated by quite a bit to my right in the same sort of fashion as my backswing. I do want that to happen because that's going to allow me to get a full shoulder rotation. So like we said at the start, don't get fixated on keeping the head dead still. Keeping it steady is really important, and keeping it steady is the result of good upper body movement. Remember, if that head is moving, it's not simply that the head is going down or the head is going up or the head is going to the side. It's the upper body which is doing something unwanted, and we see that as the head moving. So try that drill, it's fantastic, it's really good. Unfortunately, I don't know the person who put it on Instagram, or so I would credit them, but if that was you, please get in touch. So let's see if we can do that. There's my little rehearsal, controlling those 3 things. And keeping that head a little more steady should allow you to be a little bit more consistent with your club delivery, and that's really quite important because consistency in this game is everything, as I'm sure you are aware. Right, thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below, comments box. Let me know what you thought of this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please share this with a friend who you think could benefit from this information, because it really would help their game as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again soon.